v.h.s.x? What do you mean?
All right, everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing a reaction discussion video from Jen titled "What Otzdarva Realized About the Best Players Dead by Daylight." Now, this video was recommended by one of you guys in the Discord community, so if you want to be able to submit your own any kind of video you want for discussion, go ahead and submit it in the Discord community by joining with the link in the description, going down the rules and hitting the knife so you can speak with the rest of us about DB other topics. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and dive in.
Why is it always the people with the best perks in the goddamn game that give up? Like, look at this goofball, dude. Stupid perk, sticks it out to the end. Best perk, best perk, best perk, best perk. I gotta leave.
Otzdarva just...
Honestly, if I were to answer that question, I honestly believe that it's probably because of the reason that they're even picking those perks in the first place. I'd argue that because we are unfortunately in a community with like a massive amount of entitled players, it ends up leading to a lot of people that want to load up with the strongest stuff in the game to try to get some wins, and because it immediately doesn't work, they just crash out and start flying out the lobby. So that's just what I'm thinking, right? But let's go ahead and listen to our friendly juice box has to say.
But I want to give this phenomenon a name. I call it the meta wager. When you equip a meta build, you aren't just choosing perks. You're placing a massive bet on yourself. And I think understanding this bet is really important to understanding why Dead by Daylight feels so frustrating for veteran players. Here's what I mean. Think of your mental energy like currency. When you sit in a lobby and you equip Adrenaline, Sprint Burst, Windows of Opportunity, and Off the Record, you are pushing all of those chips into the center of the table. You aren't just bringing perks, you're bringing an expectation. You are betting everything on a specific outcome, that you will outplay the killer, you will make the clutch saves, and you will escape feeling like you've earned it. Let's look at Adrenaline specifically.
Okay, I kind of understand the idea. Like, you're trying to, in a way to put it in that sort of, I guess analogy is the right word for it. To say that it's sort of a gamble is an interesting perspective. I never really thought about it in that way. Because that, obviously if you're bringing meta, that means you want to win, usually, or at least you're going against people that want to win, so you want to be able to keep up. That's usually one of the two factors that come into play when picking meta. But to be able to say it's a bit of a gamble on yourself, I've never thought about it that way, but I am interested in hearing what that means.
It does literally nothing for 95% of the match. You're effectively playing with 3 perks for the entire game, gambling your survival on the assumption that you will even reach the end game. If you die at 4 gens, Adrenaline wasn't just a wasted perk slot. It was a failed...
I guess you could make that argument. Yeah, I would say that's true. A perk like that really is kind of pointless for the majority of the game, and I think that's why it's kind of fallen out of the meta as a result of that. I think, in my perspective, I think it's fallen out of meta per se, and I think that's why the meta for Survivor at least is perks that just work for free without any sort of prerequisite, without anything required for it to just be active. So for example, like something like Sprint Burst that's like super meta, or even Dramaturgy, like these perks are just available to you whenever you want, essentially. Barring of course like exhaustion or whatever have you activating, you pretty much have it at all times, and you can just pop it whenever, wherever. You don't need to heal anyone or do a gen or save or stun the killer or anything. You just have it. So when it comes down to picking meta, at least on the Survivor side, like you want to have perks that you can guarantee are going to do something. And I think that's why we really don't see Adrenaline that much. I think it's quite rare, at least my anecdotal experience, like from when I have played against Survivors, I pretty much would say I see Adrenaline maybe once every, 10-20 games or something. Like, it's quite rare. But I always see Windows, because that's always active. It never deactivates, for example, or even Vigil that never deactivates. It always is active at all times. Or even Dramaturgy, which is, same thing, just like the other speed boosts, as an example. and even DS, like you just die, like like because they played badly, and then boom, they have another chance. So these are perks that are given to you because you don't really do anything, I guess. So let's go ahead and
Starts. You have all your
share this
chips on the
part.
table, but then you get caught in a dead zone. You go down in 20 seconds. Or maybe the random teammate misses a skill check and the gen pops right as you needed it. Suddenly, the bet is in jeopardy. This is where the DC lives. This is where the suicide on hook happens. That rage you feel in that moment, that isn't just about losing a game. It's the panic of losing a high-stakes investment. You went bankrupt in the first 30 seconds of the match, and now you have to sit there and watch it play out.
I mean, yeah, that pretty much nails it, I would say, in terms of why, you know, they tend to crash out so heavily as a result. And I think that that's even applicable to the killer players, right? Like, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to you know, put on perks that they've heard is like the best build, and that touches on another topic that I really have an issue with when it comes down to DVD content, but I'll get to that in a second. But essentially, like, as killer, like, you're gonna be putting on perks that you think are, you know, considered the best for your character, and then when they don't get any value and they do jack all, I guess you could say, and you end up basically with no perk value and you got gen rushed, you're just there like, damn, like, my perks did absolutely nothing. That is also a part of that gamble, I guess you could say. Like, you're putting on perks and they just do nothing, and it's because of stuff that's not even in your control. It's like having bamboozle when there's a map with no windows, really, for example, and it's unfortunate. And when it comes down to selecting perks on killer, and I think that this is one of my biggest issues with the game's balancing and just the game as a whole, is the fact that, like, you can put on a lot of perks that you are being told that they're good perks, and they just have little to no impact on your actual game because of the fact that they have a prerequisite to, say, like, Unbound, I think, is a good example. Like, you have to hit someone, then vault, and then you get haste, and it's like, okay, that's annoying. Like, and it's a good amount of haste too, but you have to hit first, then vault, which means you're gonna need to, like, put on additional vault perks so you can speed up the animation in order to get to your haste faster, compared to some, like, a character like on Survivor that can vault once and speed off without anything else. Like, you just vault and that's it. And that is, like, I think one of the biggest issues. And then on top of that, of course, slightly separate, is the misinformation that gets spread around for characters in the DVD community is unfortunate, because there's a lot of people that will walk around trying to say that, oh, this is the best build for Ghostface, it's the best build for Freddy or whatever, and then it just really isn't. Like, it's suboptimal, and then to me, I'm like, you're misinforming people. You're not giving people the right information to fully understand their character better and to fully know, like, what is the best, and then to understand why that is the best, and then therefore you know, make calculated decisions when selecting new perks. And because, like, that is the case, it ends up just kind of you know, not working out for you.
Let's flip it. Let's look at the goofball Otz mentioned. The player running Bardic Inspiration and rank 1 scene partner. They're playing the penny slots. Their buy-in was basically zero. Their bet wasn't.
That's a good point too. Like, if you're running, like, sort of like meme builds and perks and things like that, you're probably not concerned with a win. You're probably not going to be concerned with the outcome of the match, because you're not going in to actually win your game. You're just trying to just play the game for fun, which is what I would highly recommend a lot of people do. And unfortunately, that's not really common in the DVD space. Like, there's a lot of Survivor players that crash out because they can't win, even though, you know, that's just how it works when you're going against a player that can have some level of control. And then I think that's also what led to the Gen Rush meta that we have nowadays. But that's just kind of how that works. So if you want to watch the rest of the original video, you can go ahead and check the link in the description, of course. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this particular topic as well, like what we discussed in here. Let me know in the comments. Consider checking out the original video. You can watch the rest on your own. I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you want to support the channel, leave a like and a comment, and you can even support extra by becoming a member and having access to exclusive content and perks, and have your name right off at the end of every video. I'll see you guys, of course, in the next one. I wanted to go ahead and thank all my members from Patreon: Crow King 101, YouTube members Majora Jeff, T.O.N. Dyer, Zero Mocker, Christian, Crow Vader, Noxus, Jack, Dole, a whip. Let's go. Twitch. We also have Cake, Danica, Final Girl Bunny, Zero Mocker, Ginsburg, Zaz, Crow, PB Head, Mr. Morik, and Dole as well. I appreciate all you guys for supporting, and I will see you guys. If you want to become a member, go ahead and join, and I will see you guys in the next one.